Have you ever received a letter from your ex? Well, guess what? I did. Yes, I did. I received a letter from my ex. And was that rather strange? Yes, it was. She wrote in a letter that, she said some things in there because I didn't tell her some things up front. I did some work, and she didn't believe some of the things that I said about some of the work I did and things that I did. And she went around calling various places to verify to see if I was there. But they couldn't tell her it anyway, because that's what one of the people told her, because they told me she called. And they said, well, we couldn't tell you even if he did work and was employed with us anyway, because it's a matter of national security. Because I know the person or agent who said it. So, but the thing is, it doesn't matter. But the thing is, I just basically, I don't ever talk to exes. They're like old trash. I mean, they're not trash as a person, but it's like old trash. That's why, I just leave it alone. That's why psychologists will say, don't mess with your exes. Because your exes, that's why they're exes. It's not healthy. And of course, some people feel or conceptualize that they don't feel complete unless that's why they have different views about it, because they feel not complete unless they still remain friends with their exes. But it never, in most cases, never works out. Because what ends up happens is if she's contacted some guy that she saw in the past, or if it's a man that's doing this, she would always be open for another guy, which means these kind of people that are like this would always be open to a relationship, even when they're in a relationship, because they would say that's a way how they could get out of it if it's something they can't understand. Like when I told her about some work that I did, she couldn't accept the fact because it was not normal work, it was government work. And she didn't like it, and just like they told me, like she would, she reacted, she freaked out. And some people do, because they just can't handle it unless they can have hands on a file or see it, or they can have tangible evidence of it, even though it is evidence of it, but it's just not where she can get access to it. But the thing is, it doesn't matter. The thing is, though, the thing is that you never get involved with your exes. I mean, I said that she didn't handle it like I did, because she wasn't very forthcoming with her relationships in the past either. And, when I went to go see her back in the hotel room where I was staying, which was a block from Stanton, which was in the 90s. This was before I was a preacher. And, it's before I was a preacher. I went and got her. I went out and got some wine coolers, and I was just going to get them for her. I was not going to mess with her sexually. That wasn't my plan. I just was going to do that to take the edge off, so we could talk. And that's really what the pure reason was: one, to get her drunk, so we could have sex. And she was in her 20s, and I was, in my middle 20s, or late 20s. I think middle 20s. And because, I just found out that she's 41 this year. She's 41 right now. And she told me she was like, let's see. Yeah, I guess she was 3 years younger. So, I'm 43, so she's 41. So, but the thing is, it's just weird to hear from her from all these years, because she was my ex. And I never really contacted her, but she's always contacted me to see how I'm doing, to see what I'm doing. And 2 times tried to, one time tried to get engaged with me because she wanted to see if we could get married, but she just couldn't understand the fact that, that some things I just wouldn't tell her all about, and she didn't accept it. So I just wrote her, well, I had a better handle on it than you do. I wouldn't react it that way. I said, I know you were a child. You were abused when you were a child because, your father molested you for 4 years, which is awful. But you were rather inexperienced when you were in your 20s because you were young. And most people that are in their 20s, in their young 20s, are rather inexperienced. But, and I said during that point in time But now, since she's older, she ought to be more experienced. And that's what I meant, that she's more experienced now. But back then, she was not experienced, so she didn't believe me. She thought I was just making up stuff. So, since she was like that, I had to go, because this wasn't going to work, because she's always second-guessing everything I was doing. So, I have nothing against her, but I'm glad to see that she's involved with someone. I don't know if she's married. I don't care, but I will pray for her. But, I hope the main thing is that she's alive and she's well and that she's doing happy. And that she's doing well and that she's happy is what I meant to say. I was saying doing well and happy at the same time. That's why I said doing happy. But doing well and is happy, and that's all that matters. And I will continue to pray for Kristen Elizabeth McKinney. That's her real whole name. She used to live in Roanoke, Virginia. And, when I saw her, when I went, when she contacted me the second time, she contacted me, and I went up to see her a few times. I went up twice to see her with my friend Edward. And the guy in the profile picture, looks sort of like Edward, who she's sitting beside. So that might be some old friend, maybe she was involved with him too, Because like every time, I asked her about the hotel when we got back together, that's why we broke up. When me and Christy tried this, another time, I tested her. I had to be honest, her honesty. And I asked her, well, what was that all about when I went back to get some drinks for us, in the cab, and came back and saw that you and Edmund, or whatever his name is, were in nothing but your boxes, and y'all were giggling and laughing real loud and flirting really flirtatious, it sounded like, in the bedroom, and I walked in on you, and you were all having a pillow fight, and right when I opened the door, it all stopped, and you were all nothing but your underwear. So, I mean, for you to be, you don't have to be in your underwear, to have a pillow fight. I mean, because people wear clothes. Even in a hotel room, they keep the clothes on. Unless y'all were going to do some monkey business, thinking it would take me a lot longer than expected, but it didn't take as long as it looked like, it didn't take quite as long, and it got busted, and then when I asked her about it, she denied it. She said, oh, no, we were just having a pillow fight. I said, well, do normal people have pillow fights in their underwear when you're supposed to be engaged to the guy, which is me, engaged to me, to marry? Do they normally do that kind of stuff? Because this is before I was a preacher. And I just went up to the hotel room to have her come over there just to, to chill off and to wind down. And, that wasn't a Christian thing to do, but I wouldn't, now that people know me, everybody's done some crazy things, but I wouldn't recommend, I wouldn't do that now. But that's how I was back then, because I was a different person, so please don't judge me, because everybody's done some stupid things in their lifetime. Yeah, I got some alcohol, but I don't do that now. But, I did do that, and we did. I don't know. I think I gave her the alcohol and told her to take it with her. And I told her to get out of my room, and I threw her clothes out in the hallway and slammed the door and locked it. And I packed my bags and left the very next day and took the bus home. And then, back in 2004, she, when she got a little older, I'm thinking she was mature, wanted to get back. She reached out to me and said, hey, I want to marry you, and this song on the radio really made me think about you, and, I'm not a perfect person. I didn't mean to do that thing to you. I thought I'd let you know that all the things I did. That song, a little bit of it. It's not the way I used to be, in spite of the way I used to be, I think is the name of the song. It came out, like in the mid-2000s. So when we hooked up, she was playing that song to me, and she said, that's what made me think about you, and caused me to want to write to you and have, try to see if we could reconnect. And hopefully we could try this again, so, we could really get married. Because I really want to spend my life. She gave me the whole 9 yards. But, of course, it didn't end up that way, because when I was there that day, we were riding, when the cab car picked me up, the first time he was fine. But she was like, why don't you sit over there? I said, why do I need to sit over there on one side in the back seat when I should be able to sit next to you? And I knew that, and I bought her something, some food and stuff. And she said she was hungry, so I bought her some food before I got there. And, she said, well, I just want you to sit there. I don't want you hanging on me. Instead of just saying she don't feel like doing that right now. She didn't say that. She was really weird. I thought, maybe he would get jealous because me and her would be hugging in the back seat because we're sitting in the back together. But, she got jealous. I don't, there was some weird thing going on there. And then, when we went to the mall on the way home, I got out of the cab and she said, just go inside. I got to talk to him about some things for a few minutes. And I'll be right in. So I'm in there watching TV, and about, 5-7 minutes later, I come out, and her head's all the way in the window, and she's not outside the window talking to him. She's got her head all the way in there, and it looked like they were kissing. I swear to God, it looked exactly like they were kissing, because I put my binoculars on, and it looked like they were, because her head was locked in right in front of his face, and you don't have to talk to somebody about things inside of a cab like that to talk to them if you just talk about things, unless you're, messing around. And that's what it really looked like. So I just said, look, I'm going to get Edward. I need to go to the bus station and she said she wasn't messing around. And so we had words. So she ended up calling the cab driver because I raised my voice because she wasn't listening to me. And she told me to, get out of there. And, she just was just a lot of drama, and she's always wanting attention for herself and things. And, I'm just glad. I hope she finds someone, and I hope that she can stay with them and stop messing around and always causing drama. And, and I hope that she can really be happy with her life and herself and really mature mentally. And, because I don't think she'll ever be able to do that because of her mental condition. And, that may be genetics too. It's not just what happened to her, which was horrible about being abused, but also seeing somebody get shot by their own mother, and her mother killed him, kind of set it up to kill him as he walked in the door, which is murder, and, that's probably traumatized her too. And, she also has a lot of genetical problems too. She has fibromyalgia, and she's got all kinds of pain throughout her body, and, she's really had a hard time. And, I hope that she can really find truly somebody. But, you really should never mess with your exes. That's the whole point of this whole thing. And it was just really hard to say this. I had to record this 3 times, so, because I wanted to get it just right. But, I would never do these things now. If I had a girl now like that, I would date her, but I would never take her to a hotel room. That's what I did when I was younger, because I'm a preacher now. Wasn't a preacher back then in the 90s, so you people out there, don't be so hard on me, because I know you have done things too that aren't exactly worthy, even though you're Christian too as well. But you don't see me judging you, and I would never do that anyway, because I understand you're a different person now than you were back in the 90s. Now, in the 2000s, I went up there to see her. In early 2000s, I went up there to see her to spend the night. And no, we didn't sleep in the same bed together. The first time, yeah, we did. The second time, we didn't. And that's what we did. She stayed in one room, and I stayed in the other room. So we didn't sleep together. And I was fine with that. She said she wanted to save it till we got married. But we didn't get married because there was an incident with the cab driver. So she says to this day she still denies it, just like the hotel room. But people that want to lie and fantasize and make up stuff and try to whitewash everything. She was a real good, fancy whitewasher. But anyway, that's what they do. So you don't need those kind of people. So if you have anybody, if you're in a drama relationship, and it's like this, you need to get out of it, because it's not going to get any better when you tie her down with a ring. Trust me. Because when you're not there, she's going to be messing with someone else. Trust me. And if it's a husband that's doing this, he's going to be messing around with somebody else. So you might want to get out. If it's like this, where there's always drama and you're always fighting and all, it's not going to get better when you say I do. You don't think, young ladies, that it will, because it doesn't ever get better when a person's like that. So anyway, don't be so hard on me, because I'm not that way now. I was like that in the 90s and early 2000s, but I'm a different person now. If I had a girlfriend, I wouldn't meet her in a hotel room, and I wouldn't have her over here, at least not overnight. She might come here to visit, but she would never stay here, and I would not have any kind of intimate relationships with her at all until I married her. As far as kissing and hugging goes, there's nothing wrong about that as long as you don't go any further. That's the only thing that would happen here until we got, more serious and we got married. Then that we would go further. And that's how it's supposed to be. And it's hard, but, we all have made mistakes, but I'm a different person now. So I'm a preacher. So, I'm a man of God. So, don't be so hard on me because I'm not that way now like I was back in the early and mid 2000s and 90s. A different person, but I'm more a true Christian today than I was back then. So anyway, I will see you later. I hope you enjoy this, and please let me know what you think down below. And if you have any comments about people that are in relationships like that too, please tell me about them in the comment section, and tell me if you were a victim of or opportunist of these kind of circumstances. And let me know if tell me what your insights are on about dating exes, or talking to exes, because usually it's not really recommended. It's not really the healthy thing to do. When you break up with somebody, you never contact them again. And I was really surprised and floored when I got that letter from her, because usually, I've had girlfriends, but when you break up with them, normally I don't ever hear from them again. But anyway, that was really strange. But anyway, let me know what you think. I'll see you.